Well, I think I finally got a decent amount of sleep last night. I'm Kathleen, and I'm out here hiking with pots. This kind, not that kind. But had some food problems. My intended breakfast met with a dirt grave, and it was not the type of food you can just brush off. And then my meat that was intended for this morning was not very frozen, and the ice packs that were supposed to be keeping it cold all night were not frozen. So we went into town, into Julian, bought some ice, stuck it in an extra baggie I had, and kept the meat pretty cold all night. But when I woke up, the baggies had leaked, of course. So it's pretty wet. It looks like the meat's still okay. I'm gonna eat a little bit of air in a moment, but I wanted to get an early start because it's supposed to be like 80 degrees today, and that is not good. When I was first planning this, I thought, oh, I'll be done around like noon or 1 on Saturday. And then I pushed it back to 11. I'm like, I think I can get out there early enough, be done by 11. This morning I woke up a little earlier than planned. So I was at a campsite with a few people, which I'll talk about in a minute. But my bottom lip is really swollen. I'm pretty sure it's just because it's chapped. And it must not have liked, I don't know, that or maybe what I put on it. But I feel fine other than that. It scares me a little bit. Anyway, all that said, I was like, well, I'm just going to get up and go. So I messaged my partner and I was like, how about 9 o'clock? I think I'll be done around 9:30. I just have 5 miles to go today. So really excited to have almost done this. I'm just a little bit worried about my food and energy stores this morning, but it's cool enough still that I'm optimistic. Great view this morning. This is way earlier than I'm usually up. I actually like this time of day. I can only get my body to cooperate with that. That would be amazing. Today's mostly downhill, which is one of the reasons why I feel pretty good about the situation, even though I'm a little bit tired and low on foods. So last night we ended up with, I don't know, maybe 6 different tents down at our tent site. And at first I was kind of disappointed because I was looking forward to the idea of having a real solo night kind of in the middle of nowhere, but apparently it's a pretty popular stopping place, so a bunch of thru hikers stayed there. You know, I ended up enjoying the experience because I felt like you got a little bit of that social aspect of people talking about who they are and what they're doing and how long they're out. But I did want to leave some commentary about, I don't know, what I'm calling trail bros. They're these guys who are usually in like their early 20s and they have a very self-centered view of life. You know, I can't necessarily fault them for not having life experience, but these are guys who are, you know, often ultralight or carrying very little water. This guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna do like 15 miles with this 1 liter of water that I have. One guy came in kind of late and I'd already zipped up my tent for the night, so I was just listening to this conversation, not really part of it. And he was like, yeah, I did 37 miles today. It was like, dang, wow, that's a lot. So he was talking about where he came from, and everybody's talking about what time they're gonna get up in the morning, and he's like, yeah, I mean, I'll probably be out by 6 or so. Even though I'm putting in big miles, I really like to take it easy and go slow. Dude, there is no world in which doing 37 miles hiking, not running, in a day is taking it slow. And I'm thinking, you know, that's actually pretty insensitive to those of us who just kind of struggle to get through a 10-mile day, who are actually going slow. So, I don't know. It was not my place in the conversation, but I thought, in retrospect, had I been out there and chatting, that I may have pointed that out to him. there are definitely a few different types of people out here, and I'd say that's one of them. Last day, what a view. 7:30 in the morning, that's where I came from. And that's where I'm going. I've stopped half an hour in to have a few bites of my mostly frozen meat out of a baggie, which is really weird, but here we go. So this is an example of just a little campsite that people have made right to the side of the trail. I've been making pretty good time, except for these few uphills, which really slow me down. There's some more campsites. People put rocks there because either the ground is too hard to drive stakes, or extra weight for the wind, or use them as tools to pound in stakes. Wow, new terrain. One thing that is fun about climbing a hill is that there's often a new view on the other side. And there it is. Wow. I'm going to zoom in on this one little part for you. I definitely misjudged how much uphill is today. It's not terrible, it's just more than I thought there'd be. I'm just taking what's probably one last break in the shade here, like last sit-down break, to take salt and to cool down just a little bit before this last stretch. It's already getting pretty warm today, but I think I've got plenty of water, so I think I'm gonna get my shirt wet again. That seemed to really keep me cool. There's definitely a different acceptable level of clean when you're out here. Most days you wouldn't just like plop down in the dirt and, you know, yeah, it's clean enough to eat from my hands. Hat soup to get my shirt wet, let it soak in. If you just pour water on it, it rolls off, so you kind of have to contain it. This is my view to my right as I'm walking along. A guy just passed me who's like 6'4", and his stride's like twice as long as mine. I mean, good for him. Did not strike me as a trail bro, just someone who naturally is really lucky to have long legs. So that reminds me, I was going to tell a story yesterday. Yesterday morning, for the first like hour, I didn't see anybody. Which is really nice, but you get out there and you feel super by yourself. And did see a rattlesnake, which is cool. But then, so that probably did get my adrenaline up a little bit. I don't know what the statistics are, but there are definitely more men than women out here. And some of the men have a really good understanding about interactions between men and women and how they can be, I don't know, disconcerting or problematic on trail. And some do not. I think a lot of guys walk through the world and they don't really understand what it is like to be in a woman's body. So I'm cruising along, you know, and you hear, like, I've got footsteps, I've got my poles hitting the ground. It's not a silent activity. And all of a sudden behind me, very, very close to me, I hear this very loud, "Excuse me!" And it was not like a, "Hey, excuse me." It was terse, and it was abrupt. This is my turnoff to civilization. More on that in a moment. I'm gonna finish the story. So a few minutes later, it was a guy, and he just wanted to pass, and he was going faster than me. And he had ear pods in, so that's probably why he was loud. But he waited until he was right up behind me to say anything. So then a few minutes later, I hear a voice from probably 25, 30 feet down the trail. And it was another man who was very aware. And he was like, "Hello, I don't want to scare you." And I was like, "Thank you so much," because the last guy did. We stopped and chatted for a little while about that and what a difference it was with that kind of understanding and compassion. Okay, so the PCT goes up there. Maybe see a hiker cresting the trail right there, the long leg guy. And this is my road back to civilization, which means I only have 1.4 miles left, which is wild. A year ago, there's zero chance that I would have dreamt that I'd be able to do this. I'm gonna miss this view though, so I won't say goodbye to it. I will say I'll see you soon. Mile and a bit. It's a really freaking steep exposed hill. Put my umbrella up. Just when I thought I was to the top of the hill, there's another one. Welp, not entirely sure how I did it, but I ended up going the wrong way. So I'm adding like a mile and a half to my trip, which I'm not super excited about, but at this point, if I turned around and went back, it would be longer than going this way. So I'm gonna come out Mason Valley Truck Trail, Trailhead at Highway 79 instead of Pedro Feja's monument. So that's my plan. Slight change, but I'm glad to have my shade umbrella up. It's better. I saw this little trail that goes up that hill, and I was worried that it might be mine. Fortunately, it's not. I'm heading over here to the left. All right, some final check-ins. How's my body? I'm super fatigued today. It's kind of having a hard time putting one foot in front of the other sort of day. But I'm upright. No injuries. Tried really hard to not get a sunburn, but I have a tiny bit of one from the day I wrestled with my tent. Feet are doing okay. A little just like generally sore from the weight bearing, but I just have one tiny little blister on my little toe that popped up last night. My muscles are doing pretty well. A little bit of soreness, but okay. My two biggest complaints are my lips are chapped. I need to figure out something better for that. And I have some bruises on my like collarbone, shoulder area, which, you know, I've been trying to move my pack around a lot to avoid sore spots, but there's a couple places that are just, you know, bony meeting weight. Do I want to do the whole PCT? Well, I don't think that I would ever have the physical health nor means to do that. Besides, I feel like I'm going to spend nearly 3,000 miles backpacking, I could just like pick my favorite sections from there and other places. So probably not. Am I glad I did this? Heck yes. I am tired and proud, and I know that I'll crash for a while when I get home, so I expect a few days of mostly reclining. Usually how this works is I can push through for a certain period of time and then I just hit a wall. I can feel that it's kind of starting today, but it's my intent to eat a lot and sleep a lot and keep my salt and water balanced, and not really sure what's next. I think 10-mile days feel excessive to me. It like pushes the envelope of fun, but I can imagine doing some backpacking trips between like 6 and 8 miles for maybe a few days at a time. I really want to get in the backcountry of Yosemite. I do want to get out to a secluded area where I'm not going to have 6 other hikers set up tents. So, couple more closing clips here. Just a little snack and water break. I'm getting pretty close. I think it's like half a mile left. So, I think this is adding about a mile to the trip. If you're planning a backpacking trip, I would definitely recommend lots and lots of weight-bearing squats. Lunge squats, regular squats, dynamic squats, like get your lower body really in shape and ready to go. Calves, quads, glutes, hamstrings, all of that. Also lots of stability exercises. The trail is not like walking on concrete. There's rocks and dirt and lots of opportunities to lose your balance if you're not careful. Definitely recommend hiking poles for so many reasons. If you have health challenges, like I do, modify, you know? I started with 1/8 of a mile, 1/4 mile, walking down a paved, accessible path with help. And I'm not saying everybody can do this, because not everybody can. But you might be surprised what limits you can push with a little bit of ingenuity and especially help from your friends. This is actually a pretty little truck trail. I don't think that it's open to the public. I did see 2 joggers like an hour ago going fast down the hill with their poor dog. Gosh, it's a little warm for dogs. Hopefully it's a breed that can tolerate it. Looks like I'm gonna get one more nice little change of scenery here before the end. Ooh, I smell skunk. Yikes, it's really close by. Whew. Those are the joggers and the dog. I'm not sure where it's going to be, but I'll see you next time.